Like a nigga don't dance, but he make moves. They fuck around, now a nigga gotta shame you. I'm shameless, I be rocking on my chains too. They tell me, boy, I think the money start to change you. Lord save you, Lord save you. Remember running through the city in the same shoes. Now I'm gunning in the Benz and the range too. I'm on point, no a nigga never take two. They said I couldn't reach Mars, so I turned to a star. Now I might have fucked around, might have raised up the bar. Now I'm talking cash, talk cash, all in my palm. My nigga Cash said, watch what they do for the ones. I know she wanna be popping all over the gram. When the cameras come out, wanna hold my hand. Must be out of your mind, do you know who I am? Man, you killing my vibe, do you know who I am? Oh yeah. They take my kindness for weakness, still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Take my kindness for weakness, still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Still coming out.
I might end up with your hoe if I take one. Nowadays, if they don't have a story, they gon' make one. Last night I gave my heart to her face one. I done end up on the blogs with the wrong one. It's hard to tell the real stories from the fake ones. Cause nowadays if they don't got it, they'll make one. The only time I feel alive when I taste it. I don't wanna vent, but I know it ain't safe. Must be out in your brain, do you know who I am? You the headed from me, ain't, do you know who I am? I can't give you all my tape, do you know who I am? Make you fall in love tonight, must don't know who I am. I showed you a million, no video. I open up Billy doors, I invented doors. Bodies dropping and we ducking the loss. If you don't wanna take the blame, you can say what you saw. No.
They take my kindness for weakness, still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Take my kindness for weakness, still coming out strong. Still coming out strong. Still coming out.
Pluto done dance, but I make it. We fuck around, now a nigga gotta shame you. Shameless, I've been rocking all my chains too. Told me, boy, I think the money's starting to change you. Not save you, not save you. They might pick you up, throw you down with your fall. You must not know who I am. I put champagne on the ground. My brother Casino said you wasn't free, man. And at the time I couldn't see what he was saying. You turned your back, I should've never gave you a chance. I got for loyalty, shit ain't never answered. I'm a boss, I'ma make my own family.
Today, we're going to talk about college football week 0, MLB plays for today, and of course, Juan Soto's return to DC. This is Behind the Lines. Did they forget to put the Hokies on there at the bottom? I don't know. Did they forget to put them in there? Was it too much of a lock and people were trying to get too cute with their votes? How did Virginia Tech miss this list? It does not make a lick of sense to me. You know, I'm starting to understand maybe why you guys think I'm a moose shit better sometimes. These losses, they look bad. They do. The wins, they sneak by. Nobody gives a hoot about those.
The Candyman, it's just more of a gut feeling on this one because he's been really bad. But wanted a red square. That's my red square.
If I'm sitting there in the front row and a home run ball's hit to me and I've got no glove in sight, I'm waiting for that puppy to come in. Probably going to break my hand. I don't care because I'm going to make a play like a savage. And this old geezer gets in my way with a glove and catches the ball. We're going to have a talk. There's going to be a conversation had. And I've got, yep, you guessed it, the same fucking square that burned us yesterday because I'm not scared. All right, and I don't quit. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Monday, episode 535 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by SeatGeek. If you're going to the park this weekend, maybe you're going to see the Nats and the Yankees face off tonight, tomorrow, the next day. Buy your tickets on SeatGeek, all right? Use promo code Bookit. Save yourself some coins. It cannot be easier to use that promo. Go use that promo today to buy your tickets this weekend. Maybe you're buying tickets to the first week of the NFL. Maybe you're going to a college football game. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Okay, buy your tickets on SeatGeek. Use promo code Bookit. You should be using SeatGeek anyways to buy your tickets if you're not already. At a side. Okay. Props and Chops coming in with a resub. Welcome back from the Big Apple. Let's get this money. W Props and Chops. Sure. W resub. Jovan, happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. We got some new faces behind you. Is that a Matt Warner? picture I see, all framed up, ready to roll.
Just might be, Krabs. Just might be.
Looking sharp. Love that. You got Jake Berger up there, Josh Allen, Evan Ingram. I guess you're high on Evan Ingram this year. Well, shit. I got to take notes. If you guys got your fantasy football drafts, two things. Number one, maybe take a peep at those two gentlemen to the right of Jovan's heads, Josh Allen and Evan Ingram. Number two, if you're not watching the podcast we did last week about fantasy football, getting you guys prepped with sleepers, busts, strategies we like, players who are going to win you your leagues, go check out that podcast ASAP. If you have not listened to that already, I know a lot of you guys have your drafts all this week, right? A lot of people have drafts every fucking day this week and in the next week. Lock in. Check out the pods. I promise you it's worth your time. All right? We got a hype train moving and grooving. We got Chiote coming in, resubbing. There's the link in the chat if you want to check out that pod. It's going to debrief you on everything you need for your fantasy football draft. You're going to be so smart. You're going to impress your friends so much after watching that video. They're not going to know what hit them. All right? So check it out. Drop a like. Let me know in the comments who your favorite fantasy football sleeper is. Okay? We got Eris18 coming in. Death Taxes and Eris18 dropping a 5U sub whale to start out the show. Let's fucking go, Eris18. Sure we can. We got a hype train moving and grooving. W's chat. Appreciate you guys as always. Jovan, we have a lot to go into today, so I don't want to spend too much time here sitting around. Why don't we go ahead and start up the recaps from last week? Let's see where we're at.
Sure.
Bears, maybe the greatest preseason football play I've ever seen in my entire life. Bears ML. Great fucking call, Jovan. I think that got steamed up to minus 160 by kickoff. Sheesh.
Yeah, shout out the Bears. Never a sweat, fading the Chiefs. We love to see that.
Chiote's mad I didn't read his message. What's up, Krabs? It's the Aggies ML versus Notre Dame. Lick me. He said,
I bet.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We might even have some time today to look at some of these college football games coming up this week. I don't know if you guys have peeped. I know it's a couple days out. So you're probably still wiping the crusties out from the weekends, getting your brain up and moving. But we have some great college football games on Thursday. I guess, honestly, maybe not great is the right word. We have a ton of college football games on Thursday. So if you guys aren't tapped, we're going to try to take a peep at some of those today if we have time towards the end. Sharp report recap. Jovan, you carried 3-2. Great work. I went 2-3. Moose shit plays. Was never backing Nick Lodolo, never stacking him with the Reds on the ML. That cost me dearly. Braves came through. Patrick Corbin came through, which is the craziest part of it all. And that under a DC was moose shit. Jovan, any comments for your 3-2 sharp report recap here?
Not too much. Mets were a whale at plus chick. Bears are free. Torque went yard, which is crazy that we're getting that in the big 2-4. So can't complain for a winning day with those three.
Crazy. We got Turner Mac coming in, resub, and we got hella resubs coming in. Stick with me here. Almost a year winning bets with y'all. Here's to more winners. W Turner Mac. Let's go, my man. W's. That hype train is moving and grooving. Level 3. We got Rai coming in, resubbing. Rookie season completed. W's after subscribing for 12 months. Love to see that. True Tyler coming in as well. We doing Survivor this NFL season. Yeah, you guys want to do a Survivor pool? I was talking with Trent about that over the weekends. We could fire up a little Survivor group and see if we can, look, I'm first team all Survivor slurper. I'm like the greatest Survivor player of all time. Although I did not win last year, we had a good run. And Jovan, you got pretty far as well. I would not mind setting up a little Survivor pool for this upcoming season. What's up, Patty C? Patty C deserves his flowers for that start. We were all over him and he shoved. Yes, Pax picks. How about it? W's. Cannot agree more. What a start from Patty C. Only a couple starts left for Patty C. We'll see if he can return to his vintage form. Good.
Can I make a statement real quick?
We'll love it.
Can we no longer bet on the Aces, please?
Oh, yes. Good.
Please.
We can stay away from the Aces.
Thank you.
The Aces have cost me so many coins over the last 2 weeks. I'm done with them. They're not winning the championship. They're not them. They stink. They're
not good.
I'm out on the Las Vegas Aces. Maybe that's what they needed to hear to kick them back in gear, but I'm officially out on betting on the Vegas Aces. No, thank you. They are moose shit.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Not have said it any better.
Cream is beef.
Great work. True Tyler coming in with that subby W. Sam Oliver as well coming in, resubbing. Football is back. Let's fucking go. We got Ball of 22 coming in, resubbing as well. Jovan, what is good, boys? 25 months. Wow. What a run from Ball of 22. Way to stay dialed. Krabs, can we talk about the legendary Hers performance from yesterday? Yeah, he's fucking good at baseball. How about it? DJ Hers is good at baseball. It's no surprise to me. He's dealing once again. He might be our best pitcher on our fucking team at this point. Cannot wait for the Atlas to win the PLL. Thanks for telling me they're the Cowboys of lacrosse on Saturday. Yeah, they are. They are. And good to meet you, my man, at the Pickett game as well. Goots, any comments?
He's kind of right.
No, he's not right. Do not cave.
So right, dude.
Do not cave.
So right.
Rolling Bert Smith out there, brother.
Do not succumb to the chirps, dudes. And W's mean you as well, Kylo. That was the dubs. Anybody we met at the Pickett game, that was awesome. We had a great time. Nats pitcher stock up. I would say probably only for DJ Earth. I don't know about anybody else. Okay, but he's been balling. Yeah, he's turning into a great, middle of the pack starter for this team down the line. I did not think he had it in him, but he does. He's dealing. What else we got to recap here, Jovan? We've got a little college football week 0 recap. Would you look at that? All 4 underdogs covered. Cannot make it up. That's crazy, Jovan. What were your thoughts after watching? I know there were only 4 games, and one of them was at midnight, so you might not have even made it through the whole way, but thoughts on the first weekend of games? I mean, Georgia Tech upsetting Florida State. Are you kidding me? I mean, everybody was on Georgia Tech. It didn't matter. Maybe they were just giving the people a freebie to start out the season.
I'll tell you what comes to my mind immediately when I saw the Georgia Tech and the SMU game. As a ticket holder of a certain other team in the ACC, where on paper, at least, I was not even looking at either of those games being winnable. I guess SMU I was, but ACC is wide open for a lot of these middle of the pack teams, just as we kind of thought. So as a Cal ticket holder with 2 of those games in the balance, feeling pretty good because FSU is moose. Georgia Tech is better. They don't have to play them, though. SMU, just like everybody was slurping them to win the ACC, they're going to be terrible. So I feel pretty damn good. The ACC is wide open. And then the rest of those games were weird. I expected a little more from Hawaii. Then Montana State, glad they came through. Needed that for the 7+ FCS wins.
Yes, we did. As Flyer Faithful is saying right now in chat, yes, we did. Look, they were laying 13.5. They didn't get there. It is what it is. That was a moose shit bet. I take full blame for laying the points there with Montana State, but I will lay 2 touchdowns with an FCS school against a moose shit FBS team more often than not, and it did not work out over the weekend, but we did get a massive W from an FCS school over an FBS team, and that is 1, chat, 6 more. All right, we've got that over under 6.5 FCS wins. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, you must have missed out on the YouTube video we posted a week or 2 ago on the Bookit YouTube page. You're missing out on free coins. Okay, we've got 1 win already under our belt, and we haven't even gotten to week 1 yet. It's like we start with a head start. It's getting a week 0 W. And there's some games coming up this weekend. There's some games on Thursday as well that I think FCS schools can make it weird and potentially pull off another upset against FBS teams. Jovan, we're going to talk about it. All right?
Yeah.
Florida State trash, though. DJ trash. Yeah, he might just suck. He might just suck at football.
I don't think
it was all his fault, but
yeah, that wasn't even like the worst part of it all for FSU. Like, I mean, he wasn't good, obviously, but their D-line got pushed the fuck around. It's like,
they're getting bullied.
That was the real problem with FSU in that game. So that was surprising to see.
They were getting bullied. Turns out, you bring in 20 new transfers, 20 new players. When everybody from your team leaves the year before, it might matter. It might matter. They did not look sharp in that game against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech handed it to them. Impressive win for them. Impressive win for Georgia Tech. As a Virginia Tech fan, knowing that we play them later this year, I am sketched. I'm worried, all right, about that matchup, but we'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah.
What else do we have to recap here? SMU barely pulled out a win against Nevada. I really thought Nevada was going to win that game. Me and Joshy had fucking Nevada ML tickets, just trying to stay awake after that whole, day game of drinking. And Nevada literally could not close the fucking game out to save their life. They had 100 opportunities to close it out. They couldn't do it. SMU scraped by. They got to win. It is what it is. It's probably good for the ACC overall. You can't be losing to fucking Nevada. Nevada looked good, though. Nevada looked good. Their quarterback looked good. Brendan Lewis. He was sharp. That Nevada team, preseason ranked to be the worst in the Mountain West. Jovan, they took that personally. They showed up in week 0. I was impressed.
I don't know. I just think SMU looked awful.
Yeah, they look pretty bad. Until the very
end. Shout out RJ Maryland now.
There's one guy who did not look terrible. Yeah, it was RJ Maryland, who was everywhere.
Dude,
he was like
he was not even on the field in the first half. And he was the only guy. I know. He was the only guy making plays. Like he was anytime he touched the ball, that were the couple times that SMU did something good on offense. And they refused in the first half to put them in the game. They refuse to scheme anything up to give them the ball. And, as soon as they do, they win the game. Shocker.
Let me clarify this. Nevada did not look like a ranked top 25 good team, but they look like way better than everybody expected when they're going to be last in the Mountain West. They look good to me for Nevada. Okay, I know it was mainly SMU melting, and then Nevada blew it late in that game. They had chances to win it, sure. But Nevada impressed me because I was expecting them to be one of the worst teams in FBS this season, and they were not. They hung around with SMU the entire game. They were fighting.
Yeah. This was like the only
defense
time.
Was okay. Yeah.
Only time like their DBs like truly got burnt was this play.
Yeah. Yep. And as soon as that happened, it was
DBs
cake.
were decent. Yeah.
It was cake. All right. W recaps here. Let's go ahead and take a peep at what else we got to talk about. I know I got to bitch about something here coming up, Jovan. Maybe it's time for a little steamed crabs. We got 30 seconds. We got 45 before we go into some winners. Goods.
Yeah.
Run that shit. I want to bitch. Well, Jovan, the Nationals, big day for them today. Not only do they welcome in the New York Yankees, who are on fire once again. Aaron Judge hitting a nuke every fucking game. Can't make it up. They welcome in Soto and the Yanks, sure, but they also call up their guy, Dylan Cruz, a top prospect in baseball. This is a big day for the Nats. I don't think it's a coincidence that we see him getting called up before this series. They're obviously trying to sell some tickets. That's why they announced it 3 days beforehand. It's working. I'll tell you what, Jovan, as soon as the announcement got made that we were going to see Dylan Cruz get called up, it unfortunately got overshadowed by these stupid come home Soto chant graphics that I keep seeing on my feeds. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've seen more come home Soto chant planning graphics where they want you to go to the game tonight and chant come home Soto for every at bat. I've seen 10 times more of those posts and graphics than I've seen anybody talking about Dylan Cruz, our future, getting called up, who's supposed to be one of the greatest fucking things since sliced bread up there at the plate. He's supposed to be fucking him. He's been balling in the minors. Why are we not excited about this kid coming up who we drafted, number 2 overall? Are you kidding me? We finally have something cool happen this season. We're calling up Dylan Cruz again after we already had James Wood get called up, Jovan, and they're focused on Juan Soto come home chance. Our fans just can't let it go. He's not coming back. Let it go. We've got fucking Nats accounts spending all their time, all their fucking effort this weekend making sure people go to this game and say, hey, we're going to chant on Juan Soto to come home. Fuck that. If he wanted to come home, he could have fucking signed that cheap deal and stayed in D.C. He's gone. Move on. We've got new guys coming through the fucking lineup. So we've got Dylan Cruz getting called up. Why are we not excited about him? Why are we not making graphics about him? God, man, this is such a bad look for the Nats fans, man. I know this isn't something that probably pops up on most of your guys' feeds, but as somebody who's on Nats Twitter, I have seen way too much. Let's make sure we let Juan Soto know he's loved and wants to. Fuck that, dudes. Fuck that. Let's focus on our team and the guys we're calling up. How about the number 2 prospect in baseball, Dylan Cruz, who's getting called up today? Let's make a graphic about that. Let's get excited about that. It's absolutely absurd. Nats fans are still in denial, Jovan, and it's been years. Somebody needs to help them.
Yeah,
God, damn it.
Gotta move on, Krabs. We got guys that are up to actually be at national.
It's just such a sad look. It's a sad look, to be honest with you. We're begging for Soto to come back while he's playing for the Yankees, who are about to go on to the fucking playoffs, and he's hitting a home run every game, hitting in front of Aaron Judge. And we're worried about that instead of Dylan Cruz getting called up. Ruining the day. If I was Dylan Cruz, I'd be on fucking Twitter saying, what the hell is going on here? They don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
They don't give a hoot. Oh, brutal. I'm going tomorrow, Tyler. I will be there tomorrow. Boots on ground. Shout out to SeatGeek for the tickets. Okay.
So if you're looking
I'll
for
be there tomorrow.
A Dinger Tuesday, Aaron Judge might be the freest wager of all.
Right. Yeah. Who's pitching tomorrow? Is it fucking Patty C for the Nats? Oh, God. Do I even want to look? Oh, Garrett Cole versus Patrick Corbin. Great. Okay. So, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow for that game. Don't know why I picked that one, but, yep, I'll be there for Garrett Cole versus Patty C tomorrow. Unbelievable.
Can we get a pulse check? Do you think Judge is going to break his own record, Krabs?
I don't think he does, but my goodness, that guy is absolutely dialed in right now. Absolutely dialed in. I mean, he's on
Mickey
pace.
Mouse home run yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen the Mickey Mouse home runs. I've seen him. I've seen that he's now on pace to tie his record at 63 home runs for the season. I mean, that's fucking absurd. Just to even be at that point. So I'm not going to chirp him anymore, but no, I do not think he breaks the record, dudes.
Got it.
No.
Understood.
Thanks for asking. Best hitter in the last 25 years? Yep. Let's see if he finishes the season strong. Still a lot of games left. Still got 30 games left. All right. Krabs wear his jersey to the game and bring a glove. I think I'm good. Thank you, though, brother. He's going to push 70. Ty is 62. I thought it was 63 last year, no? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was 62. He's on pace to hit 63, so he'd break his record. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see if he can pull it off. He's got some matchups against some bozos coming up. He's got a series against the Nats. I'm sure they've got a series against the O's coming up. We'll see if the Yankees and Aaron Judge can break the record and make history again. I fucking hope not.
Yeah.
I fucking hope not. What do you think, Jovan? Do you think he's breaking the record this year?
No, probably not, but we'll get damn close. We'll end on like 60.
Has anybody seen any odds up on the books for futures you can lock in for him breaking the records? I would love to get a wager in on the other sides. Let me know. If anybody's seen that pop up on the books, I would love to lock in a no to history being made this season. All right, keep me updated. Do we like Cruz today? I don't know, man. It's his first day. Let's give the kid a break. All right, maybe tomorrow we can take him. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Enough bitching about the Nationals holding on to Juan Soto, clinging to him like he's still on the team. Let's talk about some games for today. Let's move. Let's groove, Jovan. We've got some MLB plays we are eyeing for today. I'll get it started off with the Minnesota Twins at home as favorites, catching a little bit of steam against Max Fried and the Braves, who I continue to fade. I continue to think are frauds. Not only the Braves, but Max Fried this season has been a shell of himself as well. Something is not right in Atlanta, and I'm going to continue to back Minnesota at home, even though they've not been playing their best ball recently, and Bailey Ober's coming off of 2 mid-starts. His fantasy score was high enough for me to back him and trust him today, and I'm not falling for the Max Fried bait. Not this afternoon. No fucking chance, especially not with Minnesota catching this much steam. About 15 cents of steam, up to minus 125 on the books on the ML. I'll take my chances with one of the better home teams in baseball, the Minnesota Twins. Both these teams coming off of losses in their last games, not playing their best ball recently, but Max Fried especially looked pretty sketchy the last month starts, and I don't think that changes today. Go ahead and give me Minnesota on the ML.
Yeah, I am fully in with you this one, Krabs.
Okay, good. Sure. What do you got for me? First play of the day today and runs. Sure.
Runs. A little Coors, and that is supposed to be 10.5. Might have put 10 by accident, but 10.5. I love taking Coors overs when it's the first game of the series against a dog meat team, because those are the ones that hit the most. And a lot of the time people get trigger happy when, I don't know, the Padres or Dodgers come in game one, but in reality, it's the teams that at least look worse on the surface that print those early. And the Marlins have been, I don't know, a team that I've been backing a good bit over the past like month or so, not as much as the A's, but they've been kind of like the A's in that they're a pretty tough matchup for a lot of pitchers, especially righties. And we don't know exactly who we're going to see for the Rockies yet. All signs are pointing to Ryan Feltner, but at worst case scenario, if he's not confirmed, it's probably going to be like a modified bullpen game, which if you're betting against the Rockies, you're betting on runs. That does not scare anybody in the world. So I do think the Marlins put up a good bit of runs no matter who's on the mound for the Rockies. And you do get Edward Cabrera too, which I believe it was his MLB debut, which is was also in Coors Field, and he threw an absolute gem 2 years ago, maybe. I don't think it's going to be like that against this edition of the Rockies lineup, especially being that they're a lot more patient than they were then, and they're striking out a good bit, which is why the whole world's on his K's today. But I think you're going to see a lot more hard contact off of Edward Cabrera in the start than he saw first time around against the Rockies back then. So I think we're getting runs either way. Doesn't help or doesn't hurt that you have some really tired and bad bullpens on both sides too for this game. So probably going to be some madness late in the game.
Okay. And we do not know who is supposed to start for Colorado. Have you heard any whispers?
It's whispers of Feltner, but it's weird because like he just, I don't know, his rehab start was not too long ago. So it's not like he's going to be in line for a full start. So like, I don't know what the plan is for them, but again, like Feltner is the best arm they can put out there in this game. So it gets worse from there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it's Feltner, that's moose shit for the Rockies, and that's great for the over. He is terrible. Real quick, chat's asking for angles plays in this early game, and I figured, might as well take a peep. We've got Cole Reagans opening up barely a favorite against Sandelin and the Guardians. Now, the Guardians are an absolute fucking wagon at home, and the Guardians are coming off of 2 straight wins after a little bit of a slump, I guess you could call it. But this team is not one that I want to fade at home, and the Royals have been much better at their home field as well this season. Now, they are catching a little bit of steam. This reminds me of when I faded Reagans the last time. It might have been against the Tigers? It was like a week or 2 ago. I faded Reagans when he was barely a favorite against a pretty, average team, and I got burnt. And the Royals ended up coming through on the ML once again. I'm not going to get involved in this game. I'm not going to fade Cole Reagans, but I did think it was weird seeing Sandelin open up close to a pick'em against Cole Reagans, one of the best lefties in baseball. Now, it is the Guardians who are a better team, and they are perceived that's, in the books. Minds, and when they're setting the odds, they get way more respect than the Royals do, especially when Kansas City's on the road. So it makes sense why the line's a little bit closer, but I thought it was a little bit weird seeing Sandelin get this much respect. What were your thoughts in this early game?
Yeah, it was a little weird. I think same thing in line with it being weird. I think the total dropped from 8.5 to 8.2. Like I know it's a Guardians bullpen game. Their bullpen's really good, but a couple guys they've brought out of the bullpen for long relief have not been good lately. So I was a little surprised to see that, especially in game 1 of a doubleheader. So I would not be shocked if this is a lower scoring game before maybe we see runs in game 2. If there wasn't the doubleheader aspect, I'd be jumping at the opportunity to get involved. So probably,
and maybe the doubleheader aspect, maybe that leans into or has, a connection to why that fucking line is so close in the first game anyways. I feel like doubleheaders, the lines are typically a little bit closer. You won't see a team as favored as they should be in your mind because it's a doubleheader. I don't know if it's because who knows what's going to happen with the bullpens. They got to use a lot of arms. There's probably more variance in doubleheaders, but maybe that's a good point, Jovan. Maybe it's not as weird as I think. It is a doubleheader. And Trent is on the Royals. Yeah. So that also kind of brings me back to my point of the Guardians might be the look.
It's also road Royals where they're not cheating. So
right.
They do have some very short lines typically when they're on the road.
I think it's the Guardians, but I'm not going to get to the counter. I do not want to fade Reagans again.
I think it's the Guards, but I don't want that partially because I kind of want to take the Royals in game 2 because Logan Allen's pitching.
Huh. All right. You want to back Alec Marsh if the Royals lose game 1 in game 2?
Not particularly, but I want to fade Logan Allen more than any of the 3 other pitchers going today in these games. 3+, I guess.
Okay. That's fair. What about the Houston and what do we got here? Houston and Philly? Oh, no, that's not the next one up. Toronto and Boston is the next afternoon game. Anything in that one before we get back to the Sharp Report here?
Can't bet on that one. It's the resumption, right, of the game that already started.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's they're resuming that game, so I don't think there's any lines for that. It's the Danny Jansen game.
Of course. That's weird that it's up on this app. Are they finishing one game and then they're playing another one, though?
They are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm assuming the one they're resuming is probably the one that's going to start up here in an hour. That would make a lot more sense.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that one off to the sides, and we'll go back to the Sharp Report here. I'm not going to let this get swept. Jovan had, I believe, the same play as me on there. I think the Twins were buried in the bottom right sector. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I would love to hear about it. What do you like about the Twins?
I mean, I'm going to continue fading the Braves until they prove otherwise. And especially when you have, like, Max Fried's been good. He's had his moments, but, like, his worst moments have come against a lot of teams that can stack power on the right side. And that's exactly what the Twins do. They have a bunch of power hitters from both sides of the plate, but they have a really good platoon power lineup against lefties. So I think even if Fried has a pretty solid game, when he does give up damage, it's going to be a lot of hard contact. Maybe he gives up a couple tanks. And Bailey O'Bear has just been a quality start machine. So I have no problems backing him, especially against the Mooshit Braves. So basically prove it to me. It was just a little weird too, because like the whole thing with Bailey O'Bear has been he doesn't get much line respect. The Twins don't get much line respect when he's on the mound, which is why he's had some really weird short lines, and now he's at home getting steam against the Braves. So kind of tip the cap there to me.
I am all in on Minnesota today and fading the fraudulent Braves. Sign me up once again. Tales all this time. Let's keep fading Atlanta until we see anything differently, bro. This team is in REM. This team is a shell of themselves from last year. I'm in. Sign me up. Well, before we go to your crazy fucking White Sox play, we'll save that for last. Let me go over a couple more of mine because I'm very curious to hear about your White Sox angle. But first, let's talk about the Cardinals on the ML. Yep, fade the Padres once again. That should be a good look, right? I think I'm 0 in a million fading this Padres team since I locked in that Padres to make it to the World Series future. They've looked great since then. I mean, look, they're 74 and 58, but with two pretty mid pitchers up there on the bump, in my opinion, today, I wanted to lean with the home team, the Cardinals, with the veteran arm and Gibson, who's been okay. I can trust him. And the Cardinals, I feel like right now are making one more push. As much of a joke as this team has been over the last couple seasons, and as much as they've let the people down, Jovan, right now they are playing good baseball over their last 5 to 10 games. They're looking like a team that's still trying to will their way into the postseason. They're looking pretty good. They're back to 500. It's going to take a miracle at this rate, but they're playing like they still think they have a chance, and that's all that matters. They're catching 10 cents of steam at home. I love the splits. I'll take Gibson over Vasquez. I'll take the veteran over the young guy, and I would not mind fading the Padres after that crazy walk-off in their last game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was a crazy walk-off in that game yesterday for the Padres. They're coming in with some momentum, heading on the road now to the series in St. Louis. I want to fade that narrative. I want to back the Cardinals, who have their backs completely against the wall. This is their last chance to make the postseason with this veteran team.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And it's making my card from this game. It was a little odd to see 9.5 because Kyle Gibson, every time he pitches at home, he has weirdly low totals, 7.5, 8, and he hasn't been like too bad. He's had some like really bad spotty starts, and same goes for like Randy Vasquez. People like, if you look at his game log, he has been majority really, really solid outside of one blow up start in like the past month or so. So seeing 9.5 for me, especially when the Padres bullpen is involved, which they've been nails every time they show up, and the Cards bullpen hasn't been that bad either, raised an eyebrow for me. So I think we definitely get some runs, and I really couldn't pick which side is going to do it a little more. I have some squares in that game, but I don't hate the Cardinals one bit.
Okay. Cardinals on the ML. Let's hope Gibson can do enough. Total is high. It's probably not going to be a pitcher's duel, but I'll take my chances with the Cardinals playing good baseball right now, and Gibson, the veteran on the bump, catching some steam at home. Let me go ahead and go over this boring late night play so we can get to your crazy White Sox angle. I'm excited to hear it. But first, let me talk about your Rays, and I want to hear your thoughts on this game too, Jovan. But I think Pepioid and Miller go out there and absolutely shove today. I think they go out there and absolutely throw gems. I like that their fantasy scores are relatively high on Prize Picks Pepioid's been pretty solid, but Miller's not been the greatest. I do think he finds some success against your Rays squad today. I think he has his strikeouts. He hits his strikeouts today, and I like Seattle in this game. But instead of getting cute and fading your Rays and fading Pepioid with duffels in his hands, I said, you know what? This game is going under. I can already feel it. It's going to be 2-1. I don't know who wins, but why not get cute? And let's just go ahead and lock in the under. It's getting steamed. It's down from 7. You're going to see some 6.5 popping up before first pitch. I guarantee you that's the way it's moving. The splits look good. I think this will be a good old-fashioned, boring pitcher's duel between the Rays and the Mariners in one of the best pitcher's parks in baseball. And I think we get a Miller gem today. Pepioid, he's going to carry his weight as well. I didn't want to fade the Rays straight up, but I do think Miller probably goes out there and outpitches them. Wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners win, but I'll take my chances on the under 7 instead of backing their ML because that Mariners team, they don't have a clutch gene in them. 0. None.
Yeah, not really. I'm never going to argue against the pitcher's duel pretty much when it comes from the Rays, Krabs, especially when you're in Seattle. And Pepio has struggled keeping the ball in the ballpark a couple times, but that gets mitigated from the fact that you're literally in Coors Field for pitchers. So I won't say a damn word. And for Bryce Miller too, I know the Rays are going to do this because they do this every time there's a pitcher like this that's really good against a certain handedness, and they don't want to get behind in the count. They will be swinging early. So like strikeout bettors are probably going to be in urine, but there's going to be some early swinging from the Rays, which usually only results in so many runs.
All right. Well, I hope he gets a couple of those strikeouts because we're not done talking about Bryce Miller here in a moment. We'll bring him back up again. But for now, let's talk about the White Sox and why Jovan is putting his hard-earned coins on a team that is 31-100 this season. to win a baseball game. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but
that's crazy.
They're facing Ty Madden, who I am very familiar with because he played at UT as a Longhorn, and I've seen him pitch in college quite a bit. He came up through the minors with the Tigers. He's been good, but the problem with Ty Madden is he has 2 pitches. He throws a fastball damn near 50% of the time, and he throws a slider. His command's not great, which when you only have really 2 pitches, that eliminates something. Like for a White Sox team who needs a spark of offense, if he can't command a slider, which I will give him credit for, like I've seen he's made progress and made strides towards making that a real weapon of a pitch. But if he's not able to throw that in the zone, which he's had real trouble doing while he's in the minors, he only throws a fastball that catches a lot of the plate. So for a lot of the top guys in the lineup, as far as the White Sox go, that's a fucking problem. So I think there's going to be a lot of runs from the top of the White Sox order. And I'd be lying if I said I was really excited about backing Davis Martin either in the White Sox bullpen for that matter. But I trust him a little more than I trust Ty Madden. I think it's a terrible spot for him. I know there's good hitting conditions in this game too. So I don't think it's going to be without a sweat. But I think a couple of these guys for the Sox, especially at the top of the lineup, make Ty Madden's debut hell. So I'm taking him to win.
The Davis Martin earned run square doesn't make you shiver in your fucking boots?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I think he can give up 3. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think Ty Madden's giving up more than that.
Okay. Ty Madden. Yeah, who the fuck is that?
He was disgusting in college. Disgusting in college. Like he's probably, I don't know. I don't like the guys the Tigers can call up, not named Jackson Jobe. Like he's probably the guy they'd be excited most for, I would say. But I am buying it today.
All right, you're laying it with the White Sox. Well, they are plus chickens. They're not laying it, but plus 130-ish, plus 125-ish. You're taking a stab at the 31 and 100 White Sox, fading the Tigers, which I'm always down to do. And that line did open up a little short. So I'm with you. It's definitely the sharp play in this game, but you've got some cojones. Locking in the White Sox on the ML with your hard-earned coins.
Yeah, it's a Monday. Sometimes you got to do it, Krabs.
Hey, you don't have a choice. Somebody's got to do it. All right. Let's look at some prize pick squares for today. Let's take a peep. And yes, I will. That is an insane fucking record. 31 and 100. That might be the worst baseball team I've ever seen in my life. And I hope I'm jinxing them. All right. Jameson Taillon, less than 2.5 earned runs. This guy goes out there and fucking shoves. That's what Jameson Taillon does. Although of late, he's been not that great, to be completely honest with you. He's given out 4 or so runs a game, pretty much in his last 4 or 5 starts. It has not been the greatest month or so for Jameson Taillon, but I still trust, I still believe, and I want to back the Cubbies veteran on the bump against this overrated Pirates lineup, who I still don't believe in one bit at all. I think if that team wants to win games, they got to rely on their starting pitching. I'm not buying their lineup, and I want to fade their offense and back Jameson Taillon to give up less than 2.5 earned runs allowed in this start today after a couple starts that weren't his best. He's given up 4 runs. I think he locks in today with that total opening up at 8.5 with that total juice to the under was enough for me to say, all right, I think this will be more of a pitcher's duel between Taillon and Keller. I don't think this will be a crazy Cubs Pirates, shit show of a game where we're seeing teams light up the scoreboard. I think Taillon settles in and we get a rare good start from him in his last 4 or 5. But overall this season, let's not forget how consistent Jameson Tallion's been. It's only a matter of time before he comes back down to earth and, pitches solid once again. I'm buying stock right now. I'll catch the falling knife on Taillon against his Pirates lineup.
Just might have to hope that O'Neal Cruz doesn't have guys on base when he comes on the plate, Krabs.
Because he's hitting 1. He
might be. He didn't make my 2 on the card, but he's looking at me awfully funny. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Well, that scares me a little bit. And I'm seeing people in chat bitching already. What are you guys bitching about? The Guardians game already? Top of the first?
Trent has a nuke on 2 green gobs. That's what he's bitching about. Bobby and J-Ram to get a hit, and Bobby just got walked to start the game.
Sure. All right. Well, good thing is he'll probably get 4 more bats. Hopefully. At least 3. There it is. Sure. Beautiful. $2,000 to win $3K. J-Ram and Bobby. Shit's dead as mal already after 1 at bat. Sure.
Yep. As Bobby walks and steals already.
Okay. Literally just rubbing it in Trent's face. He said, you could take any other square for me up on the board, but you took my TBs and you took the bait and you're kicked. Fantasy already green, I bet, in the first inning. That's insane. All right, let's lock back in here. I got one more square to give you guys, and then I want to hear Jovan's prize picks angles. So I've already kind of talked about this one here. I'm backing Bryce Miller to go out there and absolutely fucking chuff. this afternoon against your Rays. Jovan, correct me if I'm wrong or if you disagree, but I do think Bryce Miller's fantasy score was a little bit high against your scrappy Rays team, but they are on the roads, and it's not like they've been, playing at their fucking best of late. They've been better of late, but I don't think the Rays are anything to really be scared about right this moment. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Some of their aura is kind of worn off from 2 or 3 weeks ago when they were playing better baseball. Right now, I want to back Bryce Miller in his home park where he's been an absolute fucking demon, and that fantasy score that's high as heck, in my opinion, against the solid Rays veteran squads. I like the under in the game. I like the Mariners. I couldn't resist backing Bryce Miller on his fantasy score. I think he gets a win. I think he gets a quality start. I don't think this one's going to be tough. Jovan, I want your thoughts. You're a little bit worried about his strikeouts.
Worried about the Ks, but I also think he's going to be really efficient, which that's kind of been his problem the last couple starts. So, I think he's going to pitch pretty well too. So I'm right there with you. I wouldn't count on 1 million strikeouts, but I guess I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. I think you're going to get a strong 6-7 innings out of him, though.
All right, I hope so. We'll need at least 6. Got to get a quality start, because if he doesn't hit strikeouts, he's going to need that quality start and probably the win. But I do think those are all feasible requests. And me personally, I'm seeing his strikeouts at 6, which looks a little bit high against a team that doesn't strike out that much and likes to put the ball in play. That's kind of interesting to me, and I hope that maybe that's high for a reason, but we'll see. You're scaring me a little bit.
Rays strike out a shit ton.
They do strike out a shit ton. You just don't think they do today.
No, because when they face everybody's always in piss when they take everybody against high strikeout pitchers against the Rays, because the Rays are very conscious of what they need to do, because they start swinging early and try not to get to 2 strike counts. So that's what I think they're going to do with Bryce Miller, but I don't think they're going to score when they do it. So it's good for the fantasy score, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Let's hear about your squares. I don't want it all to be about me here. I want to hear about your squares. You got Luis Robert, you got Jurickson Profar. Let's hear about it.
Both crossing plates, like I said, with the Ty Madden situation. The dude has 2 pitches. He has had trouble throwing his off-speed in the zone, which has led to him having struggles with the fastball, keeping the ball in the park. And if you're going to come predictable to a White Sox lineup with a couple of the guys at the top of the lineup, realistically, they're going to have to hit bombs for them to score. I will take Luis Robert to score across the plate, and I think he does it himself, but the guys that are around him as well, I think, are going to be very, very involved with the run scoring, whether it's, I don't know who's going to hit behind him, but Gavin Sheets might be involved. A couple of the guys right around him or behind him are really good fastball hitters, some of the few that they have on the team. So I think there's going to be some tanks hit, and I think Robert hits one. Same thing for Jurickson Profar, which Kyle Gibson, I've consistently attacked power lefties against him, whether he's pitching at home or on the road or whatever it is. Jurickson Profar, I think, fits that bill. And I think that a lot of the guys right behind him, same as Luis Robert, are going to be in really good hitting spots as well if he doesn't do it himself. So 2 gentlemen to cross the plates, keeping it simple, turning green.
All right. Lubob, Profar, crossing home plate. Why not? All right. I'll lock in that 4-piece right after BTS. We got a little bit of time today. All right. We got Alec coming in, resubbing. Wow, just got back from my pre-deployment underway and a week off of work. BTL goats. Alec, let's make some fucking coins this week. Let's make some fucking coins this week. We got that boy Rav coming in, resubbing. What's up, Rav? O'Neill Cruz homer, eh? Yeah, he was listening. He liked that. He liked what you were saying.
Of course he was.
All right, let's move and let's groove. Let's talk about the rest of the MLB slate for today. I want to go over some winners for the peeps. Not a ton of games today. A little bit of a weirder Monday slate, though. You got some earlier games. You got a fucking game starting up, picking up in the 2nd inning, and then a doubleheader in that series. You got a lot of weird angles here today, a little bit. More games probably than a typical Monday, at least in the early slate. Let's look at that Astros and Phillies game, Jovan. Astros coming off of, pretty dominant series against the O's. What they split in that 4 game? I guess technically they split. They did win the first and last game, but overall, the Astros impressed me in that series. Yep. W. Gatesy. And they're still 10 games over 500s, but they're plus 150. You're seeing Zach Wheeler catch some steam. Is it because the Phillies are at home here? And, maybe the odds makers aren't as impressed with that series for the Astros in Baltimore like that I was. I don't really know here. Why are they getting disrespected on the ML?
Yeah, it's a lot of steam, especially considering that I believe Jordan's supposed to be back today. So So maybe a little weird. Maybe it's a little Sunday night baseball with travel tax, even though you're not going across the country. You're going from Baltimore to Philly, but I don't know. Maybe that plays into a little bit of it. It's definitely screams Phillies, I guess, as far as the line goes. I'm not touching that number because the Phillies are fucking terrible. And Blanco, I think, is like a Zach Gallen 2.0, like of last season, where he's very clearly going to regress at some point, but we haven't quite seen it yet. So like now should be the time on paper for him to do it, but I'm so out. So I mean, it's probably the Phillies, but I ain't laying that.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you. I never want to really back Blanca because I think he's a ticking time bomb and he's going to regress, and he already kind of is, right? That ERA now above 3 for the first time really this season. I mean, he started out absolutely elite, unhittable, right? And built himself up where, he's pretty much going to have a good year no matter what, the start he had at the beginning of this year. But now he's starting to be a little bit hittable. Phillies are at home. Phillies have won 3 of their last 5. We know the Phillies like to wake up and get moving and grooving towards the end of the season. They're at home, big series. Maybe this is what gets them up against the Astros at home. Maybe we start to see Philly take off into the postseason. I don't know. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've seen this Phillies team as dominant, as they were towards the end of the season in recent years. They haven't looked like that same team this season so far, at least of late. But I'm not counting out yet. It's a long season, and if they can get hot, maybe a series against the Astros is what they need to get them going. FS1 tonight, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, national TV. People are going to be watching. Zach Wheeler versus Blanco. On paper, statistically, maybe not that big of a fucking mismatch, but Blanco's a fraud. Zach Wheeler might win the Cy Young. He's him. The Phillies probably win this game. You're right.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not getting cute with the Astros. All right. What about the Cubby? We already talked about Talion and Pittsburgh, but we didn't really talk about sides or totals there, Jovan. You like anything in that game? I like Talion to pitch solids. What do you like?
Yeah. First of all, shout out 5U from Big Cheesy. So bangs in the chat. Love to see that.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 from Big Cheesy. Let's fucking go.
Big Cheesy. W Cheesy. I don't know what to do with this game, to be honest with you, because I don't know that it's weird that the Pirates are favored with Mitch Keller. It's just another one of those where, I don't know, I figured it would have been a little closer to a pick 'em because Mitch Keller never gets line respect. I mean, on paper, I think he has a pretty solid start against the Cubs. He matches up really well. So my plums kind of tell me he pitches well, a lot more than Tyon pitches well, but Tyon's just been beating the numbers really consistently. So it kind of feels to me like a game where you get like 2-3 solo home runs, and that's really it. The bullpen scare the shit out of me from both sides, but probably lean in under more than anything. I'm not taking that though.
Okay. All right. You said you wanted to take Alec Marsh and the Royals and fade Logan Allen if we see the Guardians win game 1, and then you fade the Guardians in game 2 and you back the Royals.
I mean, truthfully, I just want to back runs. I just think I want to spray because I know that it don't always have squares available for game 2s and doubleheaders. I haven't looked to see if they do yet, but definitely want to target the Royals bats a hell of a lot more than the Guardians bats in game 2. But I just think you get runs in general. I think what I'm waiting for the most is to see the state of both the bullpens, I guess, after game 1, but I really don't think it'll matter regardless. It's like I just like runs.
Okay. Runs. Sure. All right. Let's fucking talk about it. It's been long enough. I can't believe I even waited an hour to get here, and we haven't even talked about Nestor Cortez versus Mitchell Parker. Jovan, I want your thoughts. Looks like the Yankees are catching a little bit of steam. Not really surprised one bit. I mean, if I check the splits, I doubt more than 10% of bets or handle are on the Nats in this game. Mitchell Parker's been terrible, right? The Nats have been atrocious down the stretch here. Nothing really special, but today is a special day at Nats Park. We're calling up our top prospect, Dylan Cruz. Jovan, could that move needle? And it is Nestor Cortez on the road as well. And the Yankees, they don't have there as much, powers as they do in the fucking Bronx when they're hitting nukes left and right in that Mickey Mouse ballpark.
Yeah, it could help, Krabs. I wouldn't be shocked. I'll say that. Not just because it's road Nestor, but Trent's favorite line to serve cake on. You see minus 190 hanging for the Yankees, which I think is a little suspicious, a little low, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to back the Nats, but I'm certainly not touching the Yankees. I do think Mitchell Parker has a pretty tough matchup, of course, against a lot of the righties from the Yankees, but so does Nestor. And with Dylan Cruz in the lineup, I guess that lineup becomes a little more formidable against lefties, which was a big area of concern for them really all season. So, I mean, him, Chaparro as well, makes that lineup a lot better against lefties. So I would not be shocked if the Nats squeak one out, Krabs.
I mean, Nestor Cortez fantasy score at 30 is hilarious, is it not? I know he's on the road where he sucks.
Yeah, because the Nats aren't going to strike out really either. So, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Could this just be a good old-fashioned over?
Certainly could be. I would be a lot more interested if the Yanks didn't have a home run derby yesterday.
Right. But you don't think Juan Soto is carrying that energy to fucking DC where he's very comfortable and likes to hit?
Yeah, I mean, he probably is. The problem is, I mean, you just got a couple home runs from guys that are not named Judge and Soto, so they're probably not touching a baseball for the next week. That's my problem with that.
Sure. Okay, the rest of their team sucks. I'm with you. You know, looking at the Soto squares on Prize Picks, I mean, they got that 8.5 run square up. I would be shocked if he doesn't do something today. As much as that pains me to say, I would be shocked. He's the kind of guy that just when the lights are bright, he plays his best. We've seen it in the playoffs when he wasn't even 21 years old yet, carrying us to a World Series. We've seen it this year when the lights are bright and he comes through and delivers. I mean, he's had a great fucking season this year, Juan Soto has, in a Yankees uniform, as much as I hate to say it. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up to a very comfortable park where he loves hitting in. And the last time he was there, I was actually at the game, his last Nats game. He had a fucking nuke, absolute piss missile. I would not be surprised if he picks up where he left off and ends up going more than his fantasy score. I think that's a pretty good look today. Whether he gets walked, whether he gets fucking meatball thrown right down the dick vein and he takes it out of the park. If he gets pitched to today, I would be shocked personally. I think that would be kind of the move for the Nats to really pitch around him. Why even fucking force it? Why give him a chance to make us look like idiots and pitch to him and give him a chance to hit a nuke in our face? Let's fucking pitch around him if we can. But you got Aaron Judge up next. What are you going to fucking pitch to Aaron Judge right now with a guy on first base? No. Yeah. What are you, crazy? So it's kind of a tough spot there. But look, Mitchell Parker has not been great recently. Nestor Cortez on the road sucks. As much as I hate to say it, this is probably a square over in this game. And we've seen the scrappy Nats, kind of play up and down to their competition a lot this season at times, besides the Padres when they absolutely folded. But besides that, they have played up to the competition they played against. They owned the Braves this season for the first time in a while. They played good against better teams. Maybe they bring it against the Yankees. Maybe they match their offense and we see a game go over against Nestor Cortez on the road and Mitchell Parker, who looks like he needs to be put on the fucking IL for the rest of the season. His arm is absolutely gassed. I like runs. I won't be taking the Nats. No fucking chance. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do something crazy today. Shock the world.
Wouldn't be surprised either.
With Dylan Cruz getting called up.
Wanted to take our guy Chaparro for something.
Chappie. You want to take Chap?
Yeah, I think he might be the guy today. I mean, no regular squares. Yeah, that's what makes it a little difficult. They don't even
but he's been hitting in like the 5-ish hole, which means he's hitting behind James Wood, who gets on base every fucking game, which means maybe an RBI. Demon could be a solid look there, Jovan.
Yeah, could be. I mean, they don't have a demon for his total bases. I'm trying to think of like guys for against Nestor that are really good at pulling the ball into the gap, which we've seen him be a doubles fucking machine for no reason since the second he's been called up. So I kind of like that angle of it. He's my guy. His home run odds are awfully low too, I would say. I know Abrams is facing a lefty, but the fact that he's above Abrams is kind of crazy.
Chaparro was actually drafted by the Yankees.
He was. It's a sneaky revenge game narrative on the other side.
Somebody in chat reminded me about it. This guy, your boy John, Yankees legend Chaparro. Sure. And I just checked the Carfax. Yeah, he got drafted by the Yankees. That's personal. That's personal for him tonight. Maybe he brings it. Yeah, I like runs in this game, and I'm trying to not be biased and say the Nats have a fucking chance, but you guys are hearing Jovan say it. He's saying they have a chance, not me.
Say their bats have a chance.
Okay.
I'm
they have
not
a chance
say
if this game
anything about
goes
Mitchell
over.
Parker. Yeah.
They have a chance if this game goes over, and I think it will. We got CMU Saturdays for the boys coming in, resubbing. Trent stays bitching 24/7 W's. Yep. We got Cam is money coming in, resubbing for 27 months. What the fuck is up, Cam? How we doing, beast? Gosh, man, I have not talked to Cam about how he's thinking about his Dodgers right this second. You think he's feeling good about his Dodgers? I don't know if I would be.
I would be.
I feel like the Dodgers.
They're going to help you now.
they're getting healthy, but they're not getting talked about at all. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's like the Cowboys coming up this season. Nobody's talking about them. It's because they're going to fucking win the whole thing. Pains me to say.
Yeah.
But could be the same thing. Maybe people are tired of the Dodgers. They are starting to get healthy, though. They need Chris Taylor and a lot of those veteran role players to stay healthy down the stretch and actually fucking hit baseballs. That's what they need. We got Big Cheesy coming in, dropping another subby, Jovan. My SF Giants are done, he said. He said his Giants are done. Do you concur? I do.
Yeah. I mean, we've said that for the last couple months.
We said it since the season started. Yep.
Yeah.
We said they're frauds. It is what it is. They're not great. Yeah, the Giants, they had their fucking decade and a half, right? I think their time is over. This would be such a typical Yankees loss. I'm not going to lie. My Yanks after a home run derby yesterday, Nestor on the mound, Nats ML. John, I 100% agree, and I'm trying to contain my excitement. Okay? Chris Taylor batting 164. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. Jovan, Toronto and Boston. We got a little AL East rivalry going off today. Barrios versus Pivetta. You got any thoughts on that matchup?
I mean, would be lying. I don't know like when it's going to play out because you have the first game and then this game, but I feel like you get a big bounce back series from the Red Sox, especially their bats after they got voodoo magicked by the Diamondbacks in 50 different ways in that series and got swept. So the Blue Jays are fucking terrible, whether it's Barrios or Gosman or whoever comes on the mound. I think they see Yariel Rodriguez game one. That should go really well. Yeah, that team and that pitching staff and that bullpen is fucking atrocious. So, like, I think this is a pretty big bounce back series for their bats in general, and especially because Yariel Rodriguez in game one is, I don't know, he can't get the ball to strike zone. Plus, he's on a pitch limit, so like the bullpen's going to be used. And then now, if Barrios isn't the sharpest pitcher of all time, his pitch count's going to be up there, and they're going to get the back end bullpen guys, the weak back end bullpen guys. Kind of screams some offense from the Red Sox, in my opinion, for this game.
Okay. Maybe the best course of action would be to see how the first game plays out. If the Red Sox somehow lose game one, maybe you bet them game two on the ML to avoid that home sweep that very rarely ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't mind that strategy.
I just feel like
I know you're thinking they get to him in both games, though.
Yeah, I kind of think they get to him in both games, but like especially if they lose game one, I mean, I think there's one of these games they win by a lot. It's like I'm not laying the minus 155. I will take run lines.
Okay. All right, even if they're home. Well, if they lose game one, I could join you. Because I like backing that. I'm a sucker for that home team to avoid a doubleheader sweep system.
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
Krabs, you're bringing a giant glove to the game tomorrow. Big Cheesy, bless your hearts. Why do you ask questions you know the answer to? You know I'm not bringing a fucking glove. You kidding me?
Should.
No. The last time I brought gloves to games was because I had to, legally, obligated to, and I left them in Goots' car. I didn't even want them afterwards. I said, fuck those gloves. Who needs them? Had to go back and get them the next week, drive through Kingdom Come traffic to go to that fucking softball game for that Aaron Judge video. God damn it. Yeah, Goots, you want to come, bro? You want to go to the game? Let me know. Although you'll probably be watching your O's.
Yeah, I don't need to go see Aaron Judge, man.
You don't want to see Aaron Judge?
No.
You can't script it that it's Patty C up on the bump versus Garrett Cole either. I feel like that's also getting swept.
It's the most Krabs matchup of all time.
That's so getting swept. We got odds up for that game yet? That's the only game I care about this week.
There's no way. I don't see any.
I don't see any odds up yet.
Yeah. Krabs Booper Bowl, man.
They might be taking their time setting those lines. That's a tricky game. All right, let's keep powering through this slate because I do want to get a chance to look at some college football lines if we have a second. Bailey O'Bear on the ML against Max Fried and the Braves. Sign me up, minus 130. I like the Cardinals on the ML against Vasquez. And Jovan, I know you weren't feeling as confident with that, but you could get on board. You like runs, yeah.
I don't know who's going to do it from either side. I definitely lean Cardinals with you, but I think that 9 total, which is teetering back and forth between 9.5, is high.
Right.
And high for a reason.
Okay. You are fading Ty Madden, whoever the fuck that is, and back in Davis Martin and the White Sox plus chicken. Sure.
Yeah, welcome to the league, Ty Madden. Luis Robert is about to take you 460.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Yeah.
All right. Miami, Colorado. How about some runs for you? Over 10.5.
How about them? Yep.
Sure. I like the under in the Rays and the Mariners to close this out. Under 7. Looks like it keeps catching a little bit more juice on that under. Minus 118 now. Good. Keep on moving. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a no fun, great way to close out the MLB slate for tonight. The under.
Sure.
Right? W's. Well, we got some time left over, which is good. I do want to spend some time taking a peep at some of these college football games coming up this week. I know you guys probably still bricked up from watching week 0, those 4 games. And although, they weren't the greatest games ever, they were definitely better than whatever the fuck we've been sweating out and watching of late. I mean, it's still football. Give me a break. We've got plenty of games on Thursday, Jovan. We've got some good ones. We've got some bad ones. We've got some FCS versus FBS teams and some opportunities to maybe make some coins and see if we can pull off any more upsets there. But it's been the year of the dog so far. Now, it's early. We're not even at week 1 yet. There's only been 4 games, but all 4 dogs have covered the spreads. Do we think it'll be the same vibe this upcoming week and on Thursday, especially when we look through some of these games? So the dog's going to be barking once again.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. There's a lot of, I would say, some bigger mismatches. Bigger mismatches, not just in terms of the line, but play style and everything. So probably not. But there are some weird games. I didn't even realize this when you said this. I didn't know the spread was this close for that Buffalo game. I wasn't expecting
4.5.
I'm seeing 3.5 now.
Sheesh. Keep on moving.
I mean, that's for anybody who's wondering why we're randomly talking about that game. Lafayette is an FCS school playing FBS Buffalo. So that is another potential win that could be on the card. So
I fucking hope so, man.
That line was at touchdown.
Yeah.
Now it's at 3.5.
Yeah, I saw it open 6.5. Now we're seeing 3.5s. I fucking bet. What did they know about Lafayette? Well, Chad, I know this about Lafayette. They've always got a pretty solid FCS program. And the fact that they're getting 3.5 points against a FBS team at home is pretty telling in my opinion. So UB Bulls mentioned. Sure. WUB Bulls. Picks with D says Buffalo by 10. Shit. Krabs, when are you doing night sweats for Colorado? I got to text Shelly back after the show, but I'm going to try to squeeze that in this week. UNC middle linebacker, Big Rob is talking about. Why are we talking about UNC?
Just talking about because they play.
Facts. Okay. Ben will be at Nats Park tonight. What the? W first timer. Going to see Dylan Cruz. Let's go, Ben. CJ2K coming in, resubbing.
Wow,
this is actually Johnson. Pretty good. Chris Johnson. Sure. He's asking, have we discussed Bryce Miller's K's today? As a matter of fact, we have. And Jovan did not love it. I thought maybe there's a chance he gets his K's, looking at how high it is against a team that strikes out a lot. But Jovan thinks they're going to be swinging early, putting the ball in play, which I wouldn't mind either. As a guy who has his fantasy score more than, not his strikeouts.
Right? Yeah, I think just backing him to have an overall good start is probably the best course of action.
Okay. All right. Are we fading Coach Prime this year? Yes. I'm putting $1,000 on Colorado's under win total. You will see that video this week. Don't you worry. They play on Thursday. We're going to talk about that one here. Looks like they're laying 9.5, Jovan, against North Dakota State. Now, we did a whole breakdown on Colorado and their win total on YouTube. If you guys want to check that out and see what our thoughts are game to game, you can still go back and rewatch that on the Bookit Sports YouTube. Okay, go check that puppy out. But let's take a peep at this game and dissect it, Jovan. You've got one of the best teams in FCS in North Dakota State's top 2 ranked team in the country there against Colorado, who's coming off of, a great start last year to the season when they fucking beat your Frogs that cost me thousands. And ended up losing pretty much all the rest of the games for the entire season and barely went over their win total. But I think we can all agree it was not that impressive of a conference schedule for Colorado last season. Now, this year they're in a new conference. It's going to be even tougher, and their win total is even higher. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Even their tough games are sketchy, even their easy games are sketchy, like North Dakota State's. This is one of their easiest games on the schedule, Jovan. Early on in the year, they're home. This is supposed to be a warm-up type game. And they're not even laying double digits. They're laying 9.5 to an FCS school. Where does your head lie with Colorado versus North Dakota State?
I will certainly not be betting the Bison. I'll tell you that much. As much as I would love for this to be like a potential loss on the schedule, and I guess it's going to be a closer game for at least a bit. I don't think there's a shot in hell they lose this game, unfortunately. But I don't know. My headspace is certainly not with the whole world in betting the Bison this game, it seems. But I don't think they're going to look great in doing it either.
I think Colorado wins, but I don't know if they cover.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be hovering around like the 7 to 10 point, like all game until maybe
I
late.
wouldn't mind. I think the best way to play this game is to wait and see when Colorado goes up early, and then you bet North Dakota State at like, 2 touchdowns or shit, maybe even get a little bit more. And you hold on for a little North Dakota State comeback after Colorado starts feeling fat, happy, and complacent after an early score. So maybe that's the right way to bet it, Jovan, is get North Dakota State live if they go down early. You get a couple more points in your back pocket. I wouldn't mind that one bit. Sebernat, we're going to get to that game here. Do not worry. I did that with Montana State this weekend, Krabs. ZDZ Bet said that was the right way to do it. I mean, they were available plus 3,000 when they were down 10 points with like 5 minutes left some places. You could get a pretty good number betting some of these teams live after they already go down early. So Jay Prue likes the under in that game. I mean, I would bet the under in that game just because it's a Colorado game, first game of the season. And I'm not betting a fucking over in that contest, but the back of my head, I still think if North Dakota State covers, the game's probably going to have to go over. So that also sketches me out as well. I will not be betting that total. And yes, Krabs, or Big Cheesy, I will be there tomorrow for the BP session. Don't you worry. Okay. Dyson saying he's going to be in Vegas soon. He's going to have to get a 3-piece to go to the counter with. Dyson, don't you worry. I cannot fucking wait to start crafting up weekend parlays, 5 guys, Hail Mary lays. We've got college football weekend previews, NFL weekend previews on the horizon, chat. We are so fucking close. So close. As the Guardians had the bases cocked. So if you have a bet in that game, maybe time to tune in. They're asking some questions. All right. Any other games here, Jovan, that are looking at you funny for Thursday?
I guess one of our other opportunities for FCS wins is a pretty interesting game in line too. Sacramento State, San Jose State.
Sure.
Line's down to plus 2.5 now.
Damn.
Which I think is interesting. And San Jose State's a team that I think is going to be meat this season, which is one of the reasons why we put them as one of the, higher on the list, I think, of potential wins as far as the FCS goes. And Sacramento State's a veteran team who's done this, I think, 2 years in a row now against FBS schools. I think they beat the shit out of Colorado State, and then I forget who they did it to last year. It might have been Stanford they beat last year. And now this is probably the easiest one of the 3. So I would not mind taking a stab at them to get win number. Maybe this is 3, depending on what happens in Lafayette, Buffalo, but at least number 2.
Sure. We got to get one on Thursday. We have to get one. We have to get an FCS win against an FBS opponent on Thursday. If not, I feel like we're back to square one, right? I feel like we have an edge right now. We got a fucking win under our belts for week 0. If we don't get one on Thursday with some of these matchups, I will not feel as confident with that future. All right, what else we got going on here? FAU, Michigan State. Are we buying stock into the Spartans? I guess that's a Friday game, though, but any stock being bought into Michigan State? I know Mikey Over is a fan this year, right? Any chance? Yeah. I mean, they're laying 2 touchdowns against FAU, who's nothing really special. We like them laying 2 touchdowns here?
Yeah, especially because FAU's quarterback going into the season is Cam Fancher, who's at Marshall. And I know all too well that dude is
terrible.
Meat. Absolute
terrible.
Meat. So I think he's going to have – I know it's not like the steel curtain defense that we've seen from the old Michigan State teams, but I think he's going to have a whale of trouble. So I would not mind some Sparty domination.
Yeah, I think they win that game easily. I think they cover that spread and win by 14 plus. I think it's going to be a nice little restart for Michigan State this season after a couple terrible seasons in turmoil, to be completely honest with you. A lot of off the field bullshit going on. Michigan State, I still think that program could get back to being solid. It starts out with a big time win against a moose shit FAU squads.
Sure.
How about Elon only catching 23.5 to Duke? I know that's kind of an in-state rivalry. Elon, relatively close to Duke down there, but I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. Elon, another FCS school, only getting 23.5 points against Duke.
Yeah, maybe that's a little.
Am I tripping? Is that? I feel like that spread should be 33.5.
Yeah, maybe if this was your mom pa's Duke with Riley Leonard and not the one with a lot of question marks with Malik Murphy, then maybe
Right.
Spread would be a little higher. Maybe that's a tad weird,
Good
though.
point. Okay. TCU Stanford 9.5. I mean, that's weird as fuck. Come on.
Is it Krabs?
It's definitely not a good sign. It's definitely not a good sign.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's a great sign, but I mean, TCU, not even a bowl team last year. Stanford's returning a lot of guys, and TCU's heading out west. I'd be shocked to see them at double digits. They're at double digits.
13.5.
If that was the line, I'd be wailing. But I'll tell you what this game reminds me of. It reminds me of, what was it, 2 years ago when they played Colorado with Chandler Morris in Colorado. That game was 6-6, I think, at halftime. Super low scoring. Like, they looked terrible. Granted, it was because Chandler Morris was playing. Then he got hurt, and Max Duggan came in, and the season did what the season did. But I think they're going to come out really slow on the West Coast, especially, and then pick it up as the game progresses. So I wouldn't mind like a Stanford first half.
Yeah, or maybe a live bet on the Frogs in this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're losing this game, but I could see it landing within like a touchdown, being closer than it should be.
What the Hokies laying 13.5? Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
Against Vandy?
Vandy's good this year, man.
Krabs, they have a 3-win total.
Vandy's going to be a sleeper pick this year. Watch out. Already planning in your guys' fucking heads when we lose this game. I'm already coming up with the excuses. Vanderbilt's going to be a sleeper. Diago Pavia, they got new coaches coming in. They got literally Diago Pavia and all his favorite players that he handpicked coming with them.
Oh, yeah.
To Vanderbilt.
I agree. I think they're going to be all right. I have the 3-win total.
Scares me. Yeah, I know. That's a good play. Vanderbilt will be a sleeper. Again, another team where, if I have to say this any more times, my head's going to explode. But take whatever you knew about college sports over the past, couple decades and literally rip it out of your brain, throw it out the window. Everything has changed. And the only thing that matters right now is NIL and the portal. And Vanderbilt has plenty of NIL money, and they've already shown that in their sports teams, their main ones like basketball and football over the last year when there's been this crazy shift. You've seen Vanderbilt go out and poach a couple of the Hokies basketball players, paying them over $100K a year to come over. Guys who sucked last year. Sorry, $400K. $100K, nothing for NIL guys. $400K. Taking guys coming off the VT Hokies bench to go play at Vanderbilt. Give me a fucking break. This team is only going to get better. Vanderbilt's, the time of them being the worst team, the bottom feeders in the SEC, I feel like is on the way out. We'll see. I like that team this year, and I surely like Diago Pavia and him bringing his squads for one more run, right? I think they'll be a sleeper. They're not going to win the SEC. They're not going to make the college football playoffs, but I think you have the right fucking bet, and that's their over-win total. They've got a sketchy game here they could pull off an upset with at home. They've got some winnable games, man, and that total's been moving up from 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, and to answer this question, I don't think it's been officially announced yet, but Nate Johnson is surely not starting. Because
I would be surprised. Now, I am hearing that it's more of a comp than people think.
I know. I've been hearing that too, but then they also just named Pavia captain yesterday. So I highly doubt he is not starting.
I mean, yeah, you can name on one hand the amount of times a backup quarterback's been a captain. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's probably a good sign that he'll be starting, and that's not good for the Hokies. And before we wrap up here, I don't want to spend time looking at these Saturday games. All right. We're going to do more of that content, more talking about those games as we get closer to the weekend. Let's reel back in and take one more peep at Thursday, Gootsy. I want to make sure we talk about the main games on that day. You've got UNC and Minnesota, and that line is moving around as well, Jovan. What are your thoughts on UNC on the road in week 1, laying only 1.5 against I don't know what to describe Minnesota as. Blue collar and probably not sleeper, but a team that returns a good amount of guys and nobody believes in. Underrated squads in Minnesota.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many people giving Minnesota a shot in this one.
0 shots.
Yeah, I just find it a little hard to believe. It's like I don't want to back Minnesota. It's just I don't want to discount Amari and Hampton, but it feels like if they can't run the ball at like an Amari and Hampton level in this game, things get very, very difficult, especially on the road. It's like I don't want to count Minnesota out. I do like UNC right now, but things could definitely change.
Okay. I mean, I like UNC's team better this season, but I don't know about this spot. Now, it is Minnesota at home. They're going to get some respect. It's also week 1. The lines are going to be closer. They're going to be weirder. But yeah, Minnesota plus 1.5. Looking at me kind of funny. I think we got to see how popular that play ends up being as we get closer to Thursday, because you're probably right, Jovan. Like, who the heck wants to lay, UNC as a favorite on the road against Minnesota either? People probably don't want to bet either side in this game.
Yeah, a little bit.
Look out for Lindenwoods. I don't know about that one, Big Cheesy.
I want to take Lindenwood.
I bet.
That might be a free easy W for Kansas.
Might be.
Could be worst wager.
I mean, they'll cover, though.
They might. Also, we're not going to talk about Delaware State. The Delta Devils covering.
Yeah,
midnight.
About Delaware State. Are they the Delta Devils too?
Right. Yeah, I think so.
I thought they were the Hornets.
Oh, are they the Hornets?
I think Delta Devils is Miss Valley State.
Mississippi Valley State. Yeah, it is. Hold on. Delaware they have State, a weird mascot, though.
I think it's the Hornets.
The Hornets.
I feel like I remember that on their helmets. But their jerseys are clean, dude.
The Hornets serve as a symbol of strength, unity, and pride for Delaware State University community. Sure.
Dude, why can't they just say they sting shit?
Yeah, I know. They did have clean unis, and they did bring some serious fucking effort in that game against Hawaii. I mean, I'll be honest, Jovan, I didn't make it in the second half in that one. Yeah, they had a pretty fucking good offense, and their defense showed up as well. They were getting some pressure on the D-line. They were fucking breaking out passes. I don't know what the fuck they were doing over there at Delaware State, but I
found this out a little before the game because I now have a Hawaii contact. Apparently their playbook is completely different, or was completely different. Like, it's normal to expect like vanilla stuff when you're playing a FCS team before a big game the next week, but said their playbook was completely like thrown out the window just for that game. They installed nothing because they're saving it all for UCLA, which should be a fun little treat.
So they didn't want anyone to see on film their good plays. They didn't want them to see what the fuck they're bringing this year. They said we can win this game with our fucking hands tied behind our backs and run whatever the fuck we want, and that's what they did. Okay.
Yeah, which is not crazy because like everybody does that, but I've been hearing that it was to like the millionth degree, which was, I mean, you could see it like when you play because Shager's like timing was off and it was fucking windy, so like he couldn't do anything. So I'm kind of excited to see how they come out against UCLA because I think they can win that game.
The old play bad on purpose trick. One of the oldest tricks in the book.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want to play too well early on, right? You don't want to be Colorado 3-0 out of the gates. Next thing you know, you're not fucking putting effort in. You're not showing up early to practice, and you're not fucking winning games. Maybe that's the right move.
Could be.
Get these boys on their toes. You guys barely beat Delaware State. Well, coach, you gave us the weirdest play calls ever. We don't know. Shut up. I don't give a hoot. It doesn't matter, right? You barely beat Delaware State. That's what I would do as a coach.
Yeah.
Right? You give the kids no chance, and then you rip them anyways afterwards for barely beating them. That's how you piss them off and get them ready for week 2. Or I guess week 1. This isn't even real football yet. We've got week 1 on the way, chat. We've got some pretty solid games on Thursday. Jovan, what's the one game you're looking forward to the most on Thursday before we get to the squad rides?
Just on Thursday?
Yep.
I mean, I'm probably going to be a sicko and say that Sacramento State, San Jose State game.
Yep. You are a sicko up.
Both because we have the bet, but also just because I love seeing underdogs like that who like have been there before and they want to go into a FCS like environment on the road. Granted, San Jose State's not the big house or anything, but I love to see the chance of those upsets outside of our bets.
Good. Are you going to be double dipping? Will you be betting on Sacramento State? Okay.
I will.
Okay. Sure. Why not? All right, chats. We've got some big games coming up on Thursday. We've got some new shit games coming up on Thursday, but all that matters is we have games coming up on a Thursday on the gridiron. Okay. The game I'm looking forward to the most, I mean, come on, Coach Prime, North Dakota State. Not going to overthink it. That's going to be cinema, and that game's going to be close. I'll tell you right now. They'll probably win, but they are not going to cover. And I'm going to try to get North Dakota State live after Colorado and Shedeur score on the first drive and then celebrate so hard they forget that they're locked in. We got Kisher coming in, resubbing as well. What's up, Kisher? W's. We got E-Dog coming in as well, resubbing. Half a year with the GOATs. Let's fucking go. Let's go, E-Dog. Genuinely want to know what went through his head. What is he talking about?
That two-piece gob.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Yeah, that's... Yeah,
Krabs, there's a goblin up for Shedeur pass touchdowns at 2.5. It's a goblin.
Oh, yeah. A goblin?
Yeah. And then Hampton is up as well, 98.5 for that Minnesota game.
Hampton, he's a fucking beast. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get a hundo. We're going to need him to get a hundo for our fucking season-long guys, remember? Right?
Absolutely.
All right. W's, it's about that time, chat. Jovan, you ready to rip a little squad ride votes?
Sure.
Goots, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. 8 and 5 in August for squad rides. Quality over quantity. Let's get to 10 and 5 over the next 2 days. All right, that's our goal. All right, that's more than attainable. It starts tonight with one winner, one play. Jovan, what's your favorite play of the day today?
Say that Coors over.
Yep. 10.5, right?
Yep.
Good. Twins ML, we're both on it.
Yep. Collab play.
Sure. I mean, are we putting the White Sox in here plus chicken?
I mean, I would, of course, be down Krabs.
We could just take Aaron Judge and Juan Soto to not hit a nuke combo, and we might have to lay a little juice.
Krabs, bro.
Just a straight hate bet.
Krabs.
Just an anger hate bet.
Thing is, I feel like you know in your heart that Soto's going yard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Man. I like that Rays Mariners under a lot. Can I put that in there?
Yeah, that one's going to get swept. That one's going to be air.
All right, cool. Good. You want to put the fucking White Sox in here, yes or no?
Of course I do, Krabs.
Jesus Christ. Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. We'll leave it at that. Quality over quantity. Don't need to force a fifth. And I'm not – you did not ooze enough confidence when I pitched the Cardinals for me to put that in there. So we're going to leave that out. I'm going to blame it on you. That way when they win, I can come back and say we should have put it in there. And we're going to roll with these 4 plays. All right. The over in the Marlins-Rockies game, the Twins on the ML, which we both had in the sharp reports, the Rays and the Mariners under 7. And we've got the White Sox on the ML, 4 plays, 4 winners. If you guys are watching on YouTube, that's great. That's cool. That's fun. That's sweet. Get your ass over to the fucking Twitch page and lock in your vote. It could not be easier. It takes 3 seconds. All right. Log on to Twitch. Click the fucking button in the poll. That's your favorite bet that you heard us talk about today. And lock in. It's really that simple. All right, get those fucking votes in. Hurry up, go, go, go. Right now, looks like Jovan's play of the day out to an early start. Miami, Colorado, over 10.5. Got twice as many votes. Jesus. Don't let the Twins get hot, though.
Don't let them get hot. Don't let them get swept.
Don't let the Twins get hot down the stretch. Here they come. Chad, I cannot wait. Yeah, they're on the way. Here comes Mage. Damn, Twins are about to overcome the fucking over. They're about to take them over for first place. They just did. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. God, that means a lot of sharp bets hit that over in Colorado, huh? Sharp early action. All the late action coming on the Twins. Great. Chat, lock those votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. And CD just got paid, huh?
It did.
CD just got paid. Krabs say the name. Matt Wallner, Matt Wallner, Matt Wallner, Matt Wallner, Matt Wallner. And yes, CD did just get paid, just like we're going to see the 49ers pay Brandon Ayuk. Probably not before the season, but probably after it when he balls once again. Because more often than not, guys, these dudes are sitting out so they get their fucking deals. They're not sitting out because they're going to go play for another team. Okay, I'd be shocked if we see Brandon Ayuk play on another team, Deebo Samuel play on another team, and we just saw CD finally lock back into the Cowboys. That was minus 1,000. To occur. I mean, anybody who thought he was going anywhere else or not playing for the Cowboys does not know football. Come on.
Holy mage.
Yeah, crazy mage there for that over. Jesus.
Wow.
I'm not mad about it. We got runs in cores tonight. That'll be a very fun sweat, Jovan. Your favorite play of the day today. That's all I got to hear, and I'm balled in. All right, so we've got runs and cores for tonight, over 10.5. Chat, lock this one in responsibly before we see it move and groove up to 11. All right, Jovan? Any comments, thoughts, concerns before we move?
No, just the way we want it. It's
right.
We got college football this weekend and week 1 starting up this week, and we're sweating Bangs and Marlins Rockies on a Monday.
Sure.
I'm in.
W's. We need some runs tonight. All right. We've got football on the horizon, chat. We've got some games on Thursday. I can't fucking wait. All right. And we've got Hail Marys, Five Guys, Prize Picks lineups, weekend previews in route. So tell your friends, BTL is going to be must watch in the coming weeks for football. All right. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Stick around for the Surge stream. We'll be seeing.